What is up, you guys? Sage here, CEO, founder of Legacy Africa. Legacy Africa, we do marketing and sales strategy for professional services. Specifically, we're talking to private wealth management firms. That type of space is where we're at. Um, Promise is I have 5 things on a slow week. So a slow week for me is when you're in a situation where the pipeline's full and the worst thing you can do is to mess with that pipeline and to do too much activity to mess with cash flow that allows you not to execute on the things that you already have planned. But from an activity perspective, right now, today, there may not be anything to do except for wait out the execution. So you've planted the seeds, you're just watching the tree grow, right? These are 5 things to look at, think about during those times to not mess everything up. Um, and so we're about to take you through it. We're about to take you through it. By the end of this video, I hope that you will get to the point where you understand the things to avoid in order not to crumble. Maybe your professional career, maybe your business if you're a business owner, your track record if you're a student, whatever the case is. It's very universally applicable laws or things to think of that we're going to talk about here. But I'm going to take you briefly through my story and how I landed up on those 5 things. And so by a slow week, here's what I mean. I mean, pipeline's already full. I already have all the conversations that are necessary for myself to sustain myself for the rest of this year. And this is literally the only lull, the only quiet week that I've had, possibly all year thus far, which is insane to think about and reflect on. But initially, you get into that first stage where you're pushing really hard, you're running around like a headless chicken, and you're talking to anyone that will listen. Anyone with a pulse that thinks your idea is cool, you will talk to, right? From there, you get to a stage where, okay, wait, I should have fewer things to say, or rather, due to my activity increasing, my words are decreasing. And as a result of those 2 things, I'm also getting people around me, people are gravitating towards me. Oh, I no longer do everything myself. I think of things, have a relevant conversation, and then delegate to a different person, and then the person does the thing, and I use the asset so that we both eat, we both get fed. Oh, okay, cool. This is very interesting. Now I'm in a completely different phase where things are built, assets are set. You know, like every conversation that I've needed to have up until this point has been had. Every conversation that I still need to have is already booked, is already in the pipeline. I already have those relationships built, and so this is a very interesting lull where the worst thing I can do is push harder. The worst thing I can do is the habits that I picked up in the very beginning to get things mobilized to begin with. The interesting thing about entrepreneurship is that this happens a couple of times, um, where you have to learn something, executed once at a very high level, and then never do it again. So you get rewarded when you start in entrepreneurship from jumping ship. You take the risk of, I'm going to start this thing, I'm going to abandon everything, and I'm going to start this thing. Woo! And that's the last time you ever have to do it. Because if you keep jumping from thing to thing to thing to thing to thing, you never actually build the momentum, right? And so within this, there was a period of a crazy amounts of work and activity that my calendar was filled with. I was building this, I'm building that, I'm doing this, I'm talking to this person, doing that, boom, 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 boom. Just a lot. I was doing a lot all at the same time. And at the time, like if you looked at me now and you looked at me then, you'd think that me then was a more successful individual, and was doing better. But you find that the opposite is true, which is the more or the further along you get, the more leverage you get, and you get to live. Naval puts it in a lovely way. Naval Ravikant, you live like a lion. You know, you nap, you get up. There's a freaking, like the lionesses hunter, they got the thing. Okay, and now here's someone who's trying to, I'm saying, mess with the food. All right, I guess I have to. And then you, boom, you burst into action. And then, you show King of the Jungle, you hit your roar, and then you chill. And then you mellow out. So this is one of those mellowing out type of phases, and I'm just not used to it at all. It's my first experience. And so the important thing that you learn during this time is what not to do. I feel like that's the next phase. Yes, things not to do. And so the worst thing you could possibly do is to rush people. the worst thing you could do is contact people out of turn, or contact people before the time you're supposed to contact them. Is to just get pushy on any of the relationships that you're developing. It does nothing for you. It does nothing for any, like, people are getting to you, big boss. They're just busy, just like you have some, because the thing that we miss sometimes is we are the centers of our own universe, and so we sometimes lose ourselves in thinking we're the centers of other people's universes as well, only to realize other people have entire lives as complex as yours, with as many moving parts as yours. So, especially as someone my age dealing with people that are decades ahead of me within business, um, it's simple for me, not easy, very simple though, conceptually, to understand, like, oh, they're busy. And for me, it was whenever I started missing calls, not messaging people back, not doing any sort of like, save, indicator of any way, shape, or form that I was going to go back and purchase a certain thing, and then boom, boom, things kind of, I just go do that thing real quick. So it's there, it's a tab in the back of my mind. I'm just not necessarily gonna have it. I just know that, oh, okay, I need to talk to that person. I don't know when. That's the person I'm gonna talk to. But anyway, back to my life. Time comes, boom, I tap in. And I found the inverse obviously to be true in this in sense that dealing with people way ahead, I have my complex life that I think of, and this and that, and I have my, my PAs and my tricks and my whatnot. I set reminders, make sure I remember everyone's. I stay dialed, right? And the fact that I was able to start with those skills as honed is because I studied the game. I studied from people way ahead of me who talked about, listen, this, and this. These are uncommon things. If you do these things, you will stand out. And as a result of it, you will get much further than anyone else in ridiculously quicker time spans. I was like, okay, cool. That, got it. Nailed it in. But when you actually live life and you interact with people and they don't have those certain things dialed, it's almost baffling, because you see these people and they are successful, of course. It's just the levels to which you can execute when you have these tools in your toolbox versus when you don't, is completely different. So don't push people. Don't pry. Don't double email, double text, double this, double that. That does nothing except dilute who you are. Um, Things not to do. I had a fantastic list of things not to do. Oh, vices. Don't go back to your vices, because again, it's a slow week, meaning it's a time period in which the bank accounts, it's looking healthy, it's looking nice, it's looking nice to the point where if you wanted to make some terrible decisions, like when all of your impulses are quite doable, it's very important that you don't. When all of your wildest dreams are executable, it's very important that you don't tap into those things, because it is in those moments that you lose. I'll tell you why. So you don't. We're talking about the don'ts, right? Don't go out drinking. Don't go out partying. Don't call the girls over. Don't like do this and that with the boys or this or that. Not to say those things are incorrect or are wrong forever, but for the season, everything in its time. For the season, it just may not be the season. Just because you're having this lull for like these 7 days, and 7 days is a lifetime to me. It's a very long time. Very hard to explain to people. If you think about what I've been able to do in the last 6 months, then you begin to understand, you begin to clock, like, oh, this person was a completely different human being of a completely different socioeconomic status. Like this was a different person 6 months ago, and they're now operating at a completely different level. You don't get there instantly. You get there one day of ruthless, relentless activity at a time. Um, and so I say that to say, the 7 days, don't get jittery, don't lose sight. don't put yourself in positions or holes that you're going to have to dig yourself out of when the success does hit as you planned it would. When the funds do hit, when it's time for that conversation, it's time for that campaign, it's time for that. Don't be caught unprepared because you took the off season as an off season. Off season is when you train. It's when you sharpen your tools, your toolkit, when you make sure that the things that you've lined up to happen are going to happen when they're going to. You press, you hit the gas even harder in those seasons. And so do not take your foot off the gas pedal. Very, very important. Mm. So inverse thinking. Love this concept. I learned it from Alex Hormozi. Alex Hormozi learned it from Charlie Munger. Inverse thinking is thinking of, man, what are the things that I could do to absolutely ruin myself? If I wanted to kill my business within the 7 days, if I wanted to kill my business, what would I do? It's like, well, I wouldn't market. I wouldn't try and sell anything, God forbid, because then I'd make money. And that would definitely be very bad for killing my business. What else? I'd probably, yeah, pick up a bad habit, because then when I get back into the on season, that's gonna make my stats go down, which is good because I'm trying to kill the business, right? What else would I do to absolutely ruin myself? Get in a bad relationship. Romantically, right? In a bad romantic relationship. Um, what else can I do? Apps to ruin my business. Obviously, yes, be very pushy and hard on the relationships that you currently have and are building. Be unreasonable with the people that you're working with. Be impatient. Patience will get you far. Be very, very impatient. And patience is finding out what to do in the meantime. And so have terrible things to do in the meantime. Anyway, inverse thinking, it's fantastic because you can list all these things that you would do to kill the business, and then guess what? You do the opposite. And so it's, oh, don't market. Oh, I should market. I should keep marketing. Don't sell anything. Oh, every opportunity that I get within reason, I should be having a conversation. I should be upselling. I should be, I should do all these things because, oh, okay. And you go down the list and you do the opposite of the things that you would do to absolutely just destroy the business. It's a really, really fantastic concept by Mr. Monger. And it really just gets the job done because you tend to be more effective at thinking of how to destroy things than thinking of how to build things, because our brains are designed to detect danger. Very, very simple and easy to detect threats and detect danger because that's just the way that we're wired. And so to think from that first, list those things that you would do to destroy yourself in the current situation, and then do the absolute opposite of that. Staying active, staying busy. So staying busy while having a full pipeline during those lulls. Now listen, it may be a week, it may be a month. I predict this is going to happen if ever. Not, I wouldn't sell the business. I wouldn't sell the name. Maybe I'd sell a mechanism, because I don't intend to be a marketing and sales strategist forever. I intend to do marketing and sales strategy, particularly for these kinds of firms, so that I can learn the things that I need to learn, and that they can get the value they need to get, so that we can then accumulate the wealth here, be able to deploy it here, and there. Eventually, the big goal is private equity, right? And so perhaps there may be people, systems, mechanisms, whatever kind of assets that I build within this that I believe will be detractive from myself in that next stage or that next phase. I don't know. I'll call it as I see it, obviously at that time. But I say that to say, staying active means within this finite resources that you have, within this finite timeline, knowing that your pipeline's full, knowing that you can't touch these things, you can't add more relationships, you can't, like there are lots and lots of limitations where the best thing to do is not to mess with this and not to touch it. That's the best thing you could possibly do. Okay, but what can I do in the meantime? Oh, I can still remain healthy. I can remain active. I can still train. that chips away at the time, so I have less time to mess up. I have less time to mess things up, and I'm also doing something active. I'm building. Okay, have productive conversations. Okay, who can I call every single one of these days? I've had a productive conversation, a productive phone call, a productive something. Something has moved forward in my life in some way. I've built some sort of preparation. I've built some sort of as some at least one thing, and that's the thing that I think people take for granted is if you just did one thing towards your ultimate goal every single day, like you make sure, even if it's a little thing, even if you just check a tiny box in your huge activity list or to-do list or whatever the case is, you just tell yourself that I will not let the sun set on any day where I have not done anything for my business, anything towards my dreams, anything for my physique, anything for the people around me, anything, like a day, like 24, like a day in your life. Crazy thing, heard the other day. They said, for those of you who may have been raised to believe in any other way, the way that you spend your days is the way that you're spending your life. Like whatever you're doing on a daily, that's you spending your life actively. And so I'm very, very keen on not letting a day go by without myself pouring into the ether, pouring into other people, pouring into my visions, pouring, just living, because that's just the way that I wanna spend it. That's the way that I want to live it. So I say that to say, activity, man. Picking up the phone, arranging this, arranging that, having this phone call, meeting like making sure that all your ducks are in a row, so that when the thing that's gonna happen does happen, everything is set, and it's like boom, you hit the ground running. Like I've always. So here's what would typically happen. So here's what the training ground that prepared me for this week. It's literally been a week. This is again the first time in a very long time that I've had a week where just no meetings. Like I just arranging suppliers, arranging this, I'm just having conversations with people to prep for the next phase, but it doesn't feel like work because there's not a lot of admin that goes in. Yeah, anyway, digress. What prepared me for it was weekends, because during weekends, other people don't work. And so I can't work. So I had to figure out ways to work during the weekends. And what I did during the weekends is I prep for Monday. I build, I think I literally, I always make things up to do. Like, okay, but what if I built this? What if I built that? What if I did a presentation for that meeting? What if I did this asset? What if I built this? What if I researched this? Something, something, including research, including building a document, including doing a presentation, including all those things. But now there was none of those to do, but I could still pick up the phone and have an arrangement like, oh, I have other skills. I've been a speaker before. I've been an actor. I've been, you know what I'm saying, a model. I've been. So can I tap into those resources? Can I tap into those things? How can I remain active commercially? How can I keep the money moving without necessarily ukukumeza business, yeah, without interrupting the business and everything that's going on and the economics of that. And you know what I'm saying? Like knowing that, okay, wait, I can't mess with this. I can't touch this. What else can I do without touching this? How can I prepare for this? How can I prepare for these conversations better? How can I show up better? How can I do a multitude of different things just to make sure that this is going to happen and it's going to be easier and smoother to do this rather than doing things that would be detractive that would make it worse. Okay, very, very important. um Lastly, yeah, keep the dream alive and get better, not worse. That's the fifth point. Just keeping the dream alive and making sure that you stay active, stay, just talk about it, think about it, speak about it, create content about it, do it all the way, all the way. Just do the work of your life. I feel that it's very, very important, especially in these moments when, again, all your impulses are quite doable. When you know that you could pick up the controller, you could pick up the bottle, you could pick up the girl, you could pick up the habit, you could pick up whatever and derail the situation, or rather, not derail it, but indulge a little bit. Not to say that there won't be a time. I'm sure ladies and gentlemen, there will be a time where I'll be speaking very, very differently. I just don't feel like that it is that season as of yet. I can feel the season coming. There's going to be a much more relaxed season coming, um, where might pick up might pick up some old habits, might pick up some bad habits because bad habits die hard. But right now is not that time, and for everything there is a time. And so whether it's a slow week, slow month, slow year, slow life, I'm sorry, I don't think you guys, losers, don't watch this. If you're watching this, you're a fucking champion. All right. I'm just thinking about the rest of those losers. Slow day, slow week, slow life, slow, slow generation, slow bloodline. I'm sorry, that's terrible. I should edit that out. I won't, because no one's gonna watch it. It's after the 20-minute mark. No one's here. Slow bloodline. I cracked myself up. Yeah, but whatever it is, these 5 things do definitely allow you to kind of keep active without interrupting anything. Think of the other things that you can do. Think of the other people you can talk to, other conversations you need to have, and continue to remain active without necessarily interrupting. Right. Number one is acknowledge that the pipeline is full. Acknowledge that you may have money in your bank account, but that money is accounted for. There are plans with that money. There are things that you know you have to do, and have to come to pass. Right. So make sure that those things come to pass. Um, List out the things not to do. Have a very intricate list of inverse thinking, right? Have a very intricate list of the things you could do to absolutely ruin your life within the next 7 days, within the next month, within the next life. List out the things you could do to ruin it. Do the exact opposite of those things. Stay active, keep the dream alive, and make sure you get better, not worse. Make sure that your time in this meantime is spent improving the odds that the things you have planned come to pass. Make sure that you spend that time creating backup plans, testing things, having conversations, so that you mess around and you find out. A little bit of insight for y'all is that as I'm doing this thing, I'm planning for this big week. I'm planning this huge campaign. All these things are happening. Boom, website goes down. What? Contact tech guy, block, quiet. Okay. Beginner entrepreneur, panic. Seasoned. Well, why do we need a website right now? It's like, well, what was I really doing with the website? Okay, I was doing this, and that. Okay, is it absolutely necessary for this, and that? Boom, 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 boom. I think about this, think about first principles thing. You think down to core, like, okay, what has to happen as a result of this? And sometimes you find that the answer is, well, nothing much. I just have to talk to these couple of people, make sure that it gets back online soon, or find out at least what's going on, how to fix it. We'll make a plan when the zero panic, absolute freaking clinical, right? Beast mode. And so I say that to say, in life, there will be slower moments, there will be lulls, there will be periods of time in which you will very much have the ability to mess everything up. But you can also use those same periods of time to get better instead. And I strongly urge that you get better instead of messing everything up. Just wanted to share that with you guys. Not a Builder's Sunday, not a Founder's Journal. Yeah, I probably Builder's Sunday. Why not? Why not a Builder's Sunday? I don't know. I have nothing to say this Sunday. Yeah, let's make this a Builder's Sunday. All right, awesome. Fantastic Builder's Sunday. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Sage, standing on business. Signing out.